Good evening, everybody. How are you doing this, I would say fine Monday, but it hasn't really been a very fine Monday, to be honest with you, so... How are you doing this Monday, folks? How's things? Real Sir T? No Concord tonight, sir, but welcome aboard anyway. Prop forward, hello, sir. Carter, hello. Pomarank, hello. Jackatron99, Dogs, Mr. Meeb, Jamie. Hello, everybody, and hello those of you who are lurking in the background somewhere. Some setting up to do here, and I'll be ready for you. Let's see. Move you there. Okay. Just a couple more seconds, folks. That sounds like a shitstorm that I don't want to be involved in, Joseph. Hi, by the way. That doesn't sound fun. Hello, Miss Co-Pilot. Potomsium. Lying sack of potatoes. Hello. Three Black Cats, how you doing? Blue Bar Sim Time. No, I'm taking care of all of that for you guys, so you don't have to watch that today. Hope you're not too bitterly disappointed. Alright. Three, two, one. That contrast is actually a little bit high, considering how dark it is. Rip. It's not really going to work for us. Let's alter this a bit. Filters. Turn up the gamma a bit, I suppose. There we go. It looks better during the day, that particular filter, but fuck it, never mind. You all guessed wrong, except for those of you who are on Discord, so you will have known already, but hey. Can I fly Lufthansa cargo someday? Maybe someday, I don't know, maybe. I will warn you, someday can potentially be a very long way away. How much did I pick it up for? About the regular price that it used to go for, you know, like $8.80 or so. Because I managed to get it from a shop as opposed to ordering it online for like 400 quid. Because it's one of the few remaining copies. I was very lucky and managed to chance upon it in a store not far from where I live. A store that clearly did not appreciate the value of it, I suppose, but hey, I'm not complaining. Well, it's particularly not a fine day for me today, Miss Co-Pilot, because the council woke me up super early because they came to cut down some trees. And I wasn't able to get any sleep after that, so I've had fuck all sleep, and I've been up since the crack of stupid, so... That should be a bit better, there we go. Get rid of the stupid cinematic effects. It is indeed the Panda. The Panda Express. God bless it. Couldn't fly FedEx and not fly the Panda Express. I mean, come on. So anyway, yeah, that was my morning. Woken up by the sound of chainsaws, which was just lovely. How did your mornings go, my lovelies? Better than mine, I hope. Is this a long haul? Fuck no, dude. After everything I've just told you, do you genuinely think I'd be doing a long haul? As if I'd have the energy for that. Good grief. I don't really stream long haul anyway. I do fly it sometimes on my own time, but I don't really stream long haul these days because I think it's kind of pointless. Unless I'm going to be sat there for the entire 8 hours, which, let's face it, I can't be asked to do. No point in me streaming it. Death or Glory for Gaming is now following. Thanks for the follow, Death or Glory for Gaming. Appreciate it. Hello, Wider. How you doing? Notification took a minute there to load, didn't it? Streamlabs, get your shit together. I can see your chat messages working, Fault. Don't know about anyone else, but I can. I think someone suggested that I was doing the PMDG 747 as in a FedEx 747, but I'm reasonably sure that FedEx don't fly any 747s. I think they maybe used to have like one 747-100 or 200 or something, but I'm pretty sure they don't actually fly. I'm pretty sure they don't have a fleet of the things nowadays. So, I mean, there's nothing that could stop us from actually getting a FedEx delivery for the thing and flying it, I guess, but, you know, it wouldn't be very realistic, I suppose. Yes, Apache, MD-11. MD-11 in all its slightly dated glory. I mean, if you Google FedEx 747, 90% of the things that come up are Flight Simulator screenshots, which is usually a surefire sign that it isn't flown in the real world. You also get a couple of photographs of like a single 747 in the really old FedEx livery from back God knows when. Oh boy, here comes the link spam. Yeah, that's like that's Photoshop, dude. That's not a real photo. The second one, the one that Jamie just sent, that's the one I was talking about. That old, it's either a 100 or a 200. I'm not sure which. You can tell because of the engines, but and the length of the thing. But yeah, they're not rolling with that thing anymore, I don't think. Yes, PMDG. PMDG used to be really funny about using this plane in P3D, but to be honest with you, at this point, I mean, the plane is literally abandonware now, so I feel like potentially that doesn't really apply anymore. So they can always send me a letter and say, "Hey, dude, can you please not stream our plane in P3D?" And I will say absolutely fine, and I won't do it. But Otherwise, yeah, it's basically abandonware. Like, it's not sold anywhere outside of box copies that have been around for donkey's years. You can't buy this plane anymore, which is kind of one reason I was a little reluctant to stream it, to be honest with you, because I think it's a bit unfair to stream a plane that you guys can't buy, you know? It's kind of like saying, hey, look at this amazing plane I've got, you can't have it. But I guess if you look hard enough, you can maybe find a box copy somewhere or whatever. Honestly, because it's a good plane, like, I'll put that out there right now. It's a pretty good plane. It's old, so texture-wise and stuff, it's not so great. I've got the HD texture mod for it, which does improve the cockpit textures a bit, but it does show its age. But honestly, if I were PMDG and I was legally able to do so, I would literally just put this up as freeware and say, look, if you want it, here it is. It's completely unsupported. We can't provide you any technical support for this whatsoever, but if you want to download and use this at your own risk, then feel free to do so, as opposed to just, you know, basically making it an unperson, an unproduct, 1984 style. I guess maybe they just don't want to even host it on their, you know, servers. Maybe that's the thing. But yeah, that's what I'd do if I were them. Because it's a good plane. How old is it? Well, it was old enough to get a 2004 release. An FS 2004 release, I mean. Probably, I think it's from... I don't know. I haven't bothered to look it up, but I think it probably came out around 2008, and I'll tell you for why. Also, I shall change the camera thing here. There we go. Hello, everybody. I shall tell you for why, because when I installed this, it came with an AirAC cycle that overrode all the nav data for all of my PMDG planes with a cycle from 2008, which is why I'm pretty sure it's probably from 2008, because, yeah, I was just flying into Boston in the 747 after flying across the Atlantic for like 6 hours, doing a long haul, and I got to Boston and I was trying to put the arrival into the FMC, and I noticed that none of the arrivals on the chart were in the FMC, and when I tried putting in the fixes manually, none of them existed. And then I went to the ident page and had a look at the AirAC cycle, and it was dated 2008. So it was only, you know, 9 years out of date. So, yeah. I figured it would come with some pretty out-of-date AirAC data, but I didn't think it would overwrite the other PMDG planes, which makes sense because they grab all their data from the same PMDG folder in your installation. Although I hadn't thought of that at the time, so yeah, I literally just said that, Hubble telescope. I literally, like, about 120 seconds ago, even I said that I got the HD cockpit textures for it. So, but yeah, anyway.
You can teach monkeys to fly better than that.
Christian, thank you for the resub, dude. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Like, you're not the first person to sort of magically end up subscribing for 3 months, even though you sort of haven't. Unless, obviously, you did the option where you paid for 3 months in advance or whatever, in which case, thanks. But otherwise, yeah, I guess Twitch is being a bit weird. You did buy 3 months. Yeah, that'll be it then. Same thing happened with me and Durka. Like, I got 3 months of sub from it for him, and then it gave me a resub alert for 3 months. It was literally the day he got partnered as well, so... Anyway, we're here at Memphis, which is like FedEx capital of the fucking world, as far as I'm aware. And we're going to fly down to Atlanta. And that's probably going to be it for tonight, because, you know, like I said, I've been up since the freaking dawn chorus of Chainsaw and Birds this morning. So, yeah. possibly should have started earlier today, but I've been busy with other stuff as well, so... I'm starting to rethink this whole schedule thing. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but I tell you what, it just seems to be landing on the absolute worst days at the moment for me. Like, there have been days during the week where I was like, kind of felt like streaming, but I thought, no, I should stick to the schedule. And then, like, the last, like, 3 streams have all come on days where I was just, like, really not fucking up for it. So, maybe rethink it. Either move it to different days or just drop the schedule entirely and go back to sort of random out of the blue streams, which I know isn't great for people wanting to plan this shit in advance, but I don't know. A show of hands on that, I suppose, would be appreciated, but yeah. I mean, the thing is, you'd get totally random stream times that you'd basically just sort of need to hope to God that you get the notification for it or whatever, but it might mean that the actual streams themselves are of slightly better quality because I'm not half asleep for them. I don't know. What do you guys think? Sound sexy with a new mic. Yeah, good. I'm glad it's working properly, as opposed to, you know, I'm still fucking salty about that, because that was a really good stream, and it is not going within a country mile of YouTube, because the audio on it is so bad. Mr. Copilot was all like, oh, I can't tell the difference. And I'm like, really? Really? You can't tell the difference between this and this? This and this? Really? Really? Whatever, anyway. So that pod is just... Never mind, we'll forget about it. Hey, Gibbon. Yeah, cheers for the help with setting this up, mate. I was a bit lost initially, to be honest with you, so... But we seem to have managed to get it there. Even before I fucked something up, and it all fails, but no, it should hopefully be fine. I did do a bit of bass training with this, and everything went okay. The whole auto throttle logic got a bit confused with itself when I tried to do a touch and go, but aside from that, it was fine. So, and the GPWS got really confused on the second go around. Actually, like I was coming in, I was in a visual circuit going into land, and the GPWS was going bonkers right to touchdown. Like, don't sink, terrain. Even though it was fine for the first couple. So, I don't know, whatever. Probably operator error, to be honest. But the autopilot logic in this is weird. It's exactly like the 717 from TFDI. If you've flown that, it's basically exactly like that. And it's just a little odd, so... I don't like it when you have buttons on the autopilot panel that do 2 different things depending on the context in which you've pressed it. Just give me 2 different buttons, please, for God's sake. But no, that's not how McDonnell Douglas decided to design it, unfortunately, so... It's a bit odd, but it's kind of part of the charm, I suppose, so... Anyway... You're up for random streams? Yeah, I'm kind of... more leaning towards that these days, honestly. Because there are some days where I literally just feel like... I don't feel like streaming, but I feel like working on some videos. And there are days where it's the opposite. I can't be asked with videos, and I just want to sit down and do a stream with you guys. So, and that doesn't necessarily conform very well to a schedule all of the time, so... Maybe we'll think about just ditching it entirely. It flies a lot like the 717, not just because obviously they're very similar planes, but I mean just in the way the auto throttle works and things like that. It's very similar to the TFDI, which makes me think that TFDI probably got things right, honestly. I think it's just a quirky, weird plane, the 717, just like this is. If you get 2 different... I'm not saying that because, oh, all hail PMDG, if they do it, it must be right. I mean, literally, if you've got 2 separate developers who are not working with each other whatsoever, and they both design McDonnell Douglas planes, and they both fly very similarly, with the same quirks and idiosyncrasies, Chances are it's probably because, you know, the real plane's a bit like that too. But I don't know. Law of averages and stuff. Anyway, music. Be gone. Whew, right. Folks, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get on board this thing. It's early in the morning here in Memphis. We're going to get our asses down to Atlanta. Go park where we took off from the 727, actually. That stream we did a while ago in X-Plane. But yeah, here it is, the MD-11 in all its glory. It is a bit dated. You'll notice that the texture resolution is not very high. You know, it's an old plane. It's an old add-on. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look amazing either by today's standards. But that's okay. I put up with the FS Labs Concords graphics, so I'll be just fine with this, I'm sure. But yeah, here it is. It looks a lot like a DC-10, obviously, though it's got winglets. So, and inside the cockpit, it looks quite different indeed. So, oh, you did straw poll. Okay. Getting all organised. Yeah, 14-1 for random streams. I suppose that is fairly conclusive, eh? I might put a poll up on Discord and Twitter actually as well, or just link to that one now that I think about it, just to get more people's input. But yeah. So yeah, here it is. Mighty Tri-Holer by McDonnell Douglas. It's yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. So let's jump inside. This is the cockpit. This is with the HD texture mod, by the way, so doesn't look like this out of the box. HD texture mod makes it all look nice. Got good old-fashioned PMDG, low frame rate animations and stuff, but that's okay because to be honest with you, this plane is pretty old, so they could get away with it on this one. It's on their 747 that I kind of wonder why on earth it does that, but hey, whatever, that's fine. Here it is. Here's the flight deck in all of its glory, I guess. You've got an engineer's seat that moves and stuff. It's sort of like it's like they kept the seat here from the DC-10, but like there's no panel for him anymore, so he doesn't really have a proper job anymore. And he just kind of sits there and fiddles with the CDU or whatever, I suppose. I don't know. But yeah, there he is. That's his seat. It really isn't a lot for him to do, actually, because all of the systems in this plane are super automated. Super automated. More than I really expected, actually. I thought, McDonnell Douglas, everything will be really awkward and difficult, and you'll have to do everything yourself. But no, actually not. It's virtually all of this is automatic. You barely have to interact with the overhead at all, to be honest with you. So it's kind of interesting. It's not Boeing, it's not Airbus, it's something else. So yeah, cool. All right, so let's first of all turn on the battery. Unmute the sim, that would help. And arm emergency power. And then we can go to FS Action shortcuts. And then go to ground connections. And then connect external power. I guess we can connect external air as well. It's not going to bug out like the 747, so that's alright. External power on. Galley power on. Let me know how the audio is, by the way, guys. I can turn the sim up or turn myself down if needs be. Still flying these things then, Lufthansa. Fair enough. I didn't know that. So that's good. We got external power and galley power doing its thing, so we make a cup of coffee in the back there if we like. That's fine. We can put the nav lights on. The beacon and strobes, it's probably due to this plane not even being designed for P3D, but the beacon and strobes, you can turn them on here, but they don't actually do anything on the outside. So, yeah, but anyway, I can live with that. That's fine. I just clicked on an invisible thing. Galley bus 3. Apparently Galley bus 2. Yeah, that's probably The 747 does this as well, like, because we're in the cargo version, presumably we don't have galley buses, but the click spots are still there. That's kind of weird. Anyway. It's making lots of fun noises, like the MD series of planes do. Navs, you know, IRSs are going to nav. All the screens and stuff are on now, as you can see. We can go here. We can go cargo doors. We can open them all. I just want to actually visually go outside and inspect it and see that we've got the right amount of cargo set up from using the loadout manager earlier before I started the stream. Cabin doors, we got the left one open, and that's fine. So we'll do that. We can get GSX in here. Oh, no we can't, because I need to set the parking brake. Which has a weird delay on it. It's kind of odd, but anyway. Request boarding, i.e. load me on the cargo, please. So they'll turn up, and yeah, here they are. And I think this lad here is going to drive around to this side, and I tested it earlier, and it does actually work with the thing. Yeah, okay, we got like a 1/3, like 2/3 cargo load in here. That's what I went for, so it seemed reasonable. Yeah, it does. They do actually load in big crates of cargo and stuff into the side of this thing. It's actually quite cool. GSX is clever enough to figure out, oh, it's a cargo variant, so therefore we'll load cargo instead of people. Yeah, it's someone at McDonnell Douglas has the thing about weird sounds in their planes. It's kind of funny, but whatever. Panel lights for the win. The panel lights do work during the day, which is a blessing. The floodlights don't tend to work so much during the day. It has that old problem with a lot of these planes where it's sort of you have to wait till the arbitrary time in the evening, like 7 or 8 o'clock-ish, for the panel lights to suddenly magically start working. But the floodlights to magically start working, and then, along with the dome light. But the panel ones do work, which is good. Boarding crew now. Oh, very good. Oh man, we've arrived in a minibus. Look at that. It's quite funny. Crew's arriving in a minibus. Oh my goodness. Right. So anyway, let's go down here. Let's go to the menu and let's go FMC1. And yeah, 1703 cycle. Fantastic. All right, cool. Let's go flight plan init. And we've got the FMC, which is just like the one in the 717. A few minor differences, but yeah, it's sort of like a... It's is it Smith's FMC, I want to say? You know, it's a lot like an Airbus FMC, essentially. You got yourself... Ah, you got the Concorde story. Nice, dude. Yeah, that's a good book. Ah, my other one arrived as well. What's it called? You know, the Haynes manual for it? That's another really good book. Focuses more on the mechanical kind of side of things. But anyway... You being sarcastic, Jared? If you are, fair play. Oh dear. That was quite a crash. But anyway, yeah, so... I almost typed in EGSS then. No, we're in Memphis. The Stansted of America. Alright. We're at Memphis, and we're going to Atlanta. There we go. And initialize IRS. You can actually change in the options whether or not you want the GPS component to be there, which is kind of cool. Sendero, thanks for the follow as well, buddy. Yeah, so you can actually change that in the plane sort of options, which is done through a nice swish menu in this plane, as opposed to through the clunky FMC menu like in all their later ones. For some reason, they decided that in their later planes they would do it in a less user-friendly way. As you can see, it's all done through a nice menu in this one, but hey, fuck it, why not? I don't know. They had their reasons, but yeah, you can remove the GPS component of it, which means that you have to enter the coordinates manually, kind of like you do in the 757. So yeah, that's kind of cool. We do have the GPS component in here though, just for simplicity's sake. And right, so we'll be FedEx 1215, made up number for the win. Our cruise flight level is going to be apparently 390, amazingly. Let's see if we get up that high. I don't know what the climb rate's like on this thing, to be honest. Cost index, I don't know, 80. I don't really care. And alternate KBNA, wherever the hell that is. Alright, cool. Next page, and this is where we get a bunch of info for our performance stuff. Now, I think I need to go up here and put the fuel in. Aircraft fuel, here we go. What do we need? 16.3 tons, really, rounding up. Okay, it's been applied. There, 16.3. Okay, cool. So we can click that in. Take off gross weight. In zero fuel weight. I think if I right-click it, it'll give me it, and then I can put it in. There we go. And that gives us a gross weight as well. CG. Zero fuel weight CG. Okay, that's all in now. Good. Next page is some sort of fuel dumping stuff. I don't think that's literally relevant to what we're doing. Now we can go flight plan. And from Memphis, our SID will be taking off 18 center. And we'll be doing the BB King 4, I think. Yeah, there we go. With the Kermi transition. There we go. Return to lat rev. Return to active flight plan. Oh, God, I don't think I applied it. Whoops. 18 center. BB King 4. Insert. There we go. That's how you do it correctly. There's like a green dot on the screen for some reason. I don't know why it's there. I think it's some sort of glitch. Box copy. Iron Jerry, box copy. It's the only way you can get it these days, really. Well, the only way you're supposed to be able to get it these days. I really wish PMDG would just release it as freeware, honestly. They're not going to sell it. Hey ho. My advice to you, honestly, is if you go into a store where they have box copies of stuff, actually just genuinely go have a look. Like, most of the time you're like, nah, there's not going to be anything good there. It's all ancient stuff that won't run anymore. Like, you're not going to find the latest P3D add-ons on a disc in a computer store. But actually, you'll be surprised what you can find there sometimes. Old LCDs always had broken pixels. Fair enough, I guess. So anyway, yeah, that's in now. So let's go down there. BB King. Did I forget to put the fucking transition in? I think I did. Crap. Sid. Kermi. There we go. Insert. There we go. Cool. All right. So from Kermi, direct to Hut CC. Huts. I don't know. And then direct to Kinsaw or something? It's a weird waypoint names today. Crew boarded, cargo loading in process, good. And then direct Isra. And then it's the Stole 1 arrival. I think we have to do it from... Is it... Yeah, it says in the manual to do the start from the last waypoint and not the destination waypoint for some reason. Like, they would just recommend doing that. So we want the Stole... Stole 1. Wow, that's a lot of SIDS. That is a lot of SIDS. Goodness me, that's a lot of SIDS. Holy crap, that's a lot of SIDS. There we go, we've got the Stole, alright. It wants me to close doors. Cabin doors, does it mean? Presumably, yeah, I mean, because they're still loading the boxes, so. There you go, like I said. Actual crates going on, which is kind of cool. Not the big bin things that you can actually see on the inside, but still. And then you've got the bulk cargo, which, of course, has the obligatory pogo stick. I still don't know why that's a thing, but it seems to be a running joke with PMDG for some reason. Pogo sticks in the bulk cargo. Don't know. I'm probably... it's a reference to something I'm not getting, I'm sure. But anyway, it's there. With a bunch of bags and stuff. I'm sure there are other ways to acquire the MD-11 these days, but as a streamer, I cannot be in a position to comment on them. But yes. Unfortunately, box copies are basically worth more than gold at this point. I think you probably... There's a couple going on like Amazon for 400 quid, I think, on this side of the channel. The pond, even. And in America, I think you can get one for like $480, or you can try your luck on eBay or something, but yeah. So, anyway. Oh, chest. Here we are. Okay, so... I mean, if you're really desperate, then I guess, and you've got more money than sense, I guess 400 quid will do, but... I won't lie, I was tempted, actually, to be honest with you, but, yeah. A lot of fucking money. A lot of money. Yeah, but I think the one on Aerosoft is for FS 2004. Yeah, exactly like Kristen said. It's the FS9 version, not the FSX version, which is what you need. Really, so unless you've got FS9, in which case fair play. What runway do we want? What runway do we want? Excuse me. What's the weather like in Atlanta right now? Sky Vector. Tell me. Winds. 280 at 6. So. I guess 28. We can change this later, of course. Transition Isra. ILS 28. Insert. Oh, it needs another transition here. Okay. Perman or Terry? I don't know. I don't know. We'll put in fucking Terry for now and we can change it later. Like I said. Yeah, I'm not sure this worked properly. I think I need to do it again. Right, yeah. ILS 28. Isra. Insert. Terry. There we go. Now it's all joined up. Alright, cool. Whoops. All too far. Just click flight plan. That'll bring us back to the front. Okay, cool. And then we can go take off and approach. We'll do flex 50, I guess. Flap 22. You have dial a flap in this plane, just like the MD-80, and weirdly enough, in this plane, it's even more mandatory than it is in the MD-80. It's kind of an optional thing in the MD-80, but in this plane, it's you know, it's a little bit more. Like, you really do have to use it, because you need to set it after we've taken off. I need to remember to set the dial flap back to 15 so that we can use that as approach flaps. So. Alright, so flap 22. The slope is 0 with a headwind component of what exactly? Let's see. Whoa, a bit windy here. Call it like 14 or so. Outside air temperature is 29 degrees? Really? Holy crap. Let me just double check active sky. Yeah, it's pretty fucking warm down here in Memphis. Oh my. Oh wait, now it needs to be 29C, doesn't it? There we go. Check, confirm V speeds. V1 134, VR 142, V2 156. And we're done with that. Let's go to flight plan on that side. Yeah. And we'll arm the cabin doors as well. Very nice. Up here, let's see if there's anything else that needs doing. Well, you really need to mess with these on a cargo flight, but screw it, whatever. I don't think there's really anything else we need to do at this point. Again, this is all in automatic mode. You can actually, if you hit the system buttons, you can put it into manual mode and do it yourself, but it's all sort of automatically managed at the minute. It's kind of interesting to the point where once we've started the engines, when we turn the APU bleed off, it will automatically shut the APU off itself after a cooldown period. It's really automated. Really, really automated. Are they done outside? Looks like they are. Okay, cool. Time to shut the cargo doors. Again, funny how they have an arm all button in this plane, but they forgot to put it in the 777. Weird, eh? But never mind. Anyway, the other thing we need to set up is this. Heading needs to be 178. Initial climb is going to be what? If we're doing the BB King, whatever it is. BB King 4. Let's see. Don't know. Probably says on the small print. Let's have a look. Initial climb 5,000. Okay, cool. So let's put that in. Job done. All right, cool. We can also arm nav. Maybe we have to arm nav later. And then we've got obviously this. We can put on traffic. We can put on data. Put it in TCAS mode if we wanted to, but we'll put it on map for now. We can also put it in plan. All looks good though. Very nice. We can increase and decrease the range with these two buttons here instead of your standard sort of rotary knob thing, which is a bit odd, but hey, whatever. Set our order brakes to take off. And I think we need to set trim as well. Which we can do like that. What does it want us to set it to? 6.4. Close enough. Stab trim's up there, so... Alright, emergency lights are also disarmed. How do we arm the emergency exit lights? I've forgotten where they are. Oh, there they are. Armed. Okay, cool. That's done. Alright. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, I don't know I don't know how often you'll see me streaming this plane just because I think it's a bit unfair. Really? Just stream a plane that you can't get. But yeah, I thought I ought to do it maybe at least once after having got it now, because apparently it's a very popular plane with you lot. As soon as I said I got the MD-11 on Discord, everyone was like, stream it, stream it, stream it. So, anyway, let's put in a random bullshit squawk code. Let's go TARA. Press the TCAS test button if we like. The weather radar doesn't work in this plane at all, so never mind. Hooray! Seat, stay where you are. Alright, cool. So we'll start the APU now. Now, I had some real trouble with this before getting the APU started, and I did manage to do it at the end, but I can't remember how, so we'll see what happens. In theory, you're supposed to just press this button, and it should do its thing, but with me, what it kept doing was just spooling up and then spooling down again. Like, I was beginning to think it was totally bugged out and I just wouldn't be able to run the plane properly without using air start from the, you know, the ground's air supply, but I don't know, it looks like it's okay for now, actually. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, when I was trying to start this up the first time, the APU just kept failing all the time, and I was beginning to think, oh, it's a bug with the plane because I'm using it in P3D. But for the minute, I guess it's fine. Yeah, that'll keep flashing, then it'll go avail on when it's ready, and we'll get rid of the external power and the external air, which there isn't like an actual physical GPU plugged in, and nor is there an air unit, unfortunately, but. I guess that's something they got around to doing on their later planes, huh? Takes a while to spool up this thing, to be fair. It's probably realistic. There we go. Alright, so let's turn the external power off. And then disconnect it here. And you can hear the pack spooling down now that the air's come out, which is a neat touch, I have to admit, for a plane this old. I almost bought this thing ages ago when they were still selling it, and then thought, nah, I can't be arsed, I'm not that interested in the plane. And then they, like, literally probably like the next week said, okay, we're not selling it anymore. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, I never would have wanted to fly the thing anyway. And then I found out more about the MD-11 and was like, oh, shit, that's actually kind of a vaguely interesting plane. Damn it, never mind. But anyway, here we are, sometime later. Okay, so all this is pretty much automatic. We do need to put the APU bleed on. And then we can just call GSX and tell them to push us back. Which way do we want to go? Well, nose right. Because it's the only way we can go. And we can turn on the beacon, I guess, but like I said, it doesn't seem to actually be working. I think the bulb's gone. I would stop selling it. They didn't want to support it anymore. There may have been some legal stuff as well, but I think they mostly just didn't want to support it anymore. I.e. they didn't want to host the server space for it, and they didn't want to put up with all the people trying to run it in P3D when it's not supposed to be made for P3D. It's not even technically supposed to work with FSX Steam Edition, so...
Locking gear.
But I still think it's a shame. Because as you can see, it kind of does work. You just gotta do a bit of messing around with the migration tool and stuff. And, you know, presumably you're going to want a DVD drive as well. Do people, like, not bother with... I mean, I've got one, luckily. It's the only way I was able to use this and also play Morrowind. Like, Morrowind is probably the only game I have these days that requires me to still have a CD drive, but I guess probably people don't... People probably don't... Probably don't buy PCs with CD drives in them these days, do they? Really? Alright, so start sequence is 3, 1, and then 2. Let's put on the ignition up here, which will automatically disable the packs, which is a neat touch. And then we just need to go... pull that, and then 15% N2, we put the fuel in. On the blue marker, basically. It's dead easy. Sounds on this thing ain't bad, considering its age. I'm not going to win any awards these days, but not bad. The engines aren't, like, stupidly overwhelmingly loud in the cockpit, which I like. Because, I mean, they just wouldn't be. In real life. You have passengers on a cargo plane with no seats. Seems legit. Well, mate, to be honest with you, the crew's still got to breathe somehow, haven't they? Just because it's a cargo plane doesn't mean they ripped the packs out. That'd be daft. You still got to pressurize the cabin and the courier bay or whatever they call it back there as well. So,
Parking brakes, please.
and fuck, I don't know. You could be transporting animals too. Come to think of it, so. You know, like livestock or something. I don't fucking know. Right, engine 3 stable, so let's start engine 1. Very good.
Unlocking gear.
Does he really say totally legit MD-11?
Captain, the tow truck is disconnected and the bypass pin is removed.
Well, I'm trying to load your link, but it's not doing it. I'm just getting a blue circle of doom. Turn the sim up a bit. Yeah, I sure as shit can. Stand by. Let me know if that's too much. Snails are fast channel. Thanks for the follow.
Left and right,
Interesting
both
username.
clear.
And Smudge595 as well. I think I missed you. Alright, we've got 2 good engines. Let's make it 3. It's making clicking noises. One, I can only assume that that is a good thing, I guess. Alright. Very good. And we can now... Whoops. Wait, no, that was the right button. Okay, I thought I got them the wrong way around there for a second. But now we've now closed the APU bleed, and you will notice now that the APU will actually switch itself off now after a cooldown period, all by itself, which is clever, I guess. But I suppose under some circumstances you might not want it to do that, so, you know, I guess maybe that isn't so clever. It's probably a reason why Airbus and Boeing make their planes so that the APU doesn't automatically switch off unless you specify otherwise. But whatever, fine. Okay, that's all good. So let's go to... that's not it. That's config we want, not consequences. All flight controls check. It seems to all work. I hope ATS's MD-82 turns out to be, like, good, because they said they want to make an MD-11 afterwards, and that'd be really sweet to have an MD-11 in X-Plane. But anyway, that's all done. Also... yeah, flip that to the dialer flap D10, and that'll give us flaps 22 for takeoff. It indicates slats and flaps 22 on there, and also you can see it moving down on there as well. Now I wonder why it's gone 21 on the left side and 22 on the right side. That's interesting. There's no problem. There's no configuration warnings on here, which you would get otherwise, but still kind of odd. But fine, fine. Insufficient fuel. Really? I'm going to chalk that up as a bit of a VNAV bug, because I'm pretty sure we should have sufficient fuel. All right, let's give the guys a little flash with the taxi light, let them know we're ready to go. For some reason, putting on the taxi light lights up the flight deck a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that, but I don't really understand why that is, but it is the way it is. Am I going to 11 when it fully releases? Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about X-Plane 11, yeah. When it's finally out of beta and it's actually stable, I will move over to it, yeah. For sure. Have I got the Saab for X-Plane? I do have the Saab, I just don't fly it very much, because... And I know certain people will hate me for saying this, I find the Saab to be quite a boring aeroplane, so... It just... doesn't do it for me. Some people love the tiny regional turboprops. For me, I'm just not really interested. Not unless it's a turboprop from like 50 years ago. Anyway, we're moving. Let's see if we can make our way to 18 Center. Somewhere around here. I'm not actually sure which ramp we're at right now. There's like a million FedEx ramps, so... Yeah, it is boring. I know that in your little alternate parallel dimension, Miss Copilot, the 747 is extremely boring, but I find the Saab pretty fucking boring. It looks dull. It just uninspired. It's just sort of has nothing quirky or interesting about it. It's just little regional turboprop with about 30 seats. Enjoy. There's nothing particularly awe-inspiring about it. It's just dull. It doesn't even have interesting engines. It's got like a pair of Pratt PT6s on it, which are like the most vanilla turboprop in existence. Let's go this way. Tokyo Drift, let's do this. Whee! Oh, I need to arm the spoilers as well. That's a thing you have to do in this plane. Much like Airbus, you need to arm the spoilers for takeoff. Which means it gives us now a green box, which doesn't have a label on it. It doesn't have a handy label like takeoff ready or TO config or anything like that. It's just a green box, which you're expected to remember means ready for takeoff. I don't know, it's just designed that way. Don't look at me. I know, poor old Nerd Rage loves that thing, but it just doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid. Technically wonderful add-on, but just doesn't do anything for me. Alright, where the fuck are we going from here? I need a sign. I don't mean from heaven, I mean literally I need to look at a taxi sign. Okay, we're apparently on Sierra and then we're jumping onto Victor. Okay, I know where we are. We're just going to cross 09 here. And then continue on Sierra. And then we'll take the second right, which will be Bravo. Straight on to 18 Center. Okay, sweet. What about GA aircraft? Like any of those? Yeah, I do actually. People on the Twitches don't seem to find GA quite as interesting as the heavy metal. I suppose that's fair enough. So I don't fly it that often, but yeah, no, the X-Plane's got a shitload of really good GA planes, and there's some nice ones in P3D as well. So. Just want to hit this back to engine for now. Just want to make sure that APU's off, and it is good. Will I like the new Majestic Q300 when it comes out? Well, to be honest with you, mate, I'm sure it'll be great, but I barely even fly the Q400 as it is. I'm not sure I see myself getting the Q300 anytime soon. I'm sure it'll be great, and if you're a Dash 8 nut, then I'm sure you'll love it. But yeah, I don't even fly that Q400 often enough right now. Yeah, the real airplanes were great, man. It's just a shame those guys went bust. Didn't really go bust. They just decided to shut the thing down. Alright, so Control L, it gives us the landing lights. Switch you to landing mode as well. And put on the non-existent strobes. And yeah, okay, so trim's set. Speed brakes are armed. Flaps 22 is set. Let's go. Let's do it. Let me just hit nav again. Hopefully that'll arm itself. Yeah, there we go. Nav armed. That's what I wanted to see. Sweet. Alright, so what we need to do now is we need to hit auto flight once, which will prime the auto throttle. So as soon as we go above 65 N1, it will engage the auto throttle into takeoff mode. It's an odd system. I don't necessarily like it. I think I prefer having a button, or like in the Airbus, a thrust lever detent, but it's just the way they decided to do it on this plane. And that'll be all there is to it, really. Then, you know, the usual V1 rotate, blah blah, whatever. And need to try and remember to disarm the speed brakes as well. Alright. Let's throttle this thing up. Looks stable to me. You hear a click, and now it's in takeoff flex automatically. I don't really like it. I don't like the plane taking control away from me like that. Feels like it's prone to disaster. But hey, it's just the way it is. It's part of the fun, I guess.
Positive rate.
Gear up, please.
Gear up.
Even got a gear camera set up. It's got a weird middle gear in the middle of the fuselage, this plane. Which is a bit of a giggle, I suppose. Manual trim. Miss Copilot, I think you would genuinely probably like the flight model in this plane, by the way. It feels really heavy. It's more like one of the iFly planes, honestly. It's got some sense of inertia to it, unlike their later planes do. It's quite cool. It feels very different from their other stuff at the very least. Anyway, I guess we can retract flaps here.
Flaps up.
Is that FR? Flaps retract speed? I feel like maybe it's not. We're getting a little bit close to that yellow bit, but okay, fine. Maybe I misinterpreted that. Read the manual, you idiot! Whatever. I think we want to hit profile, don't we? Down here somewhere. That'll. Yeah, that's what we want.
Altitude.
Doesn't automatically VNav for you, but you've got to do that yourself. And down, finally down comes the flight director. Okay, cool. And to put the autopilot in, we now press the autoflight button again.
Auto flight.
And that puts it in. Like I said, I don't like that. I'd rather have an auto throttle button and an autopilot button that are separate from one another, because otherwise it just leads to confusion, in my opinion. But hey, I think it's becoming a little clear to me why this plane wasn't the biggest success ever in the real world. But whatever.
Slats retract.
Hopefully the plane will actually speed up at some point. Maybe I have to hit FMS speed. Guess I do. Oh, it's doing a low speed protection thing. Cool. That's interesting.
Altitude.
I didn't even know if this thing had those kind of protections built into it, to be honest with you. Guess it does. Obviously, the weather terrain button doesn't do anything because this plane doesn't have weather radar or anything like that, so. Yeah, Discord keeps dying today for some reason, doesn't it? How the hell have I learned the MD so fast? Honestly, mate, I just went through the... I didn't actually do the tutorial, but I went through the tutorial manual thingy that comes with the plane. And that, combined with having already semi-learnt the 717, made it fairly easy. Really. I'm not exactly flying this like a pro, but, you know. I suppose I can probably get by. Mind you, this is still my first full flight in the thing. I've only done, like, base training, really, effectively, in this thing, circuits and an ILS approach. So we'll see what happens. We could end up crashing and burning yet. Don't you worry. What I'm probably going to struggle with is all the terminology on the displays and stuff. I'm not used to that. All the symbols meaning things. One thing I do like about this plane, though, is in true McDonnell Douglas fashion, you can put the flaps out at stupid speeds. Which is great. You can go down to flaps 15 at 255 knots. I mean, for Christ's sake. What did they build these things out of? Yeah, speaking of windows, and it's probably because this plane is ancient, but the window reflections are conspicuous by their absence. It feels a bit weird, honestly. But whatever, it's cool. Yours always captures the low 0.5 nautical miles to the right. You know what, mate? I hand flew most of the ILS approach, so if there's some issues with the autopilot there, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll end up seeing that later down the line here, but yeah, I did hand fly the ILS approach. I did, so. Can we? Oh my God, chase plane! You and your floating cockpits. Ugh. So, knowing vaguely nothing about the MD-11, why does anyone who does know about it, can they tell me why this thing was so popular as a freighter versus as a passenger jet? Is there a particular reason for that? Is there something about the MD-11 that makes it excel as a cargo jet versus a passenger one, compared with other planes of the same class? I don't know why the cinematic cam is off-centered like that. That's a bit weird. Three engines. Okay, it's closed. Oh, okay. Fine. Yeah, I guess if you've got 3 engines, you can haul a lot of crap, I suppose, can't you? Really? It's giving me an orange flag for turning the engine ignition off. Does it want it on all the time? Because I would have thought an orange flag is bad. You don't want orange flags on your overhead. What am I looking for here? Yeah, these. And their lights and the nose light as well. I mean, BA World Cargo even used these things, so when they were still around and still a thing. I don't know if IAG Cargo uses them still. Maybe they do. Interestingly, British Airways actually operated a few DC-10s back in the day. I didn't know that until fairly recently, but they totally did. In the Landor paint job as well, they looked quite swish. Apparently they got them because they had slightly more range than the L1011s in the rest of their fleet. So they flew them on a couple of specific long-haul routes. Possibly some short-haul ones as well. I think they might have flown them to, like, Scotland and back as well, now that I think about it. It's still stuck at 250 for some reason. Apparently I have to click FMS speed again for it to accelerate. Interesting. I like the vertical speed indicator in this plane, by the way. I may be a little biased because it looks a bit like the Concorde one, but it's a good visual indicator for me. Like I said, I was hand flying the thing, doing some visual circuits and stuff. I just found it very easy to read at a glance, as opposed to some of the other ones where you get like a thin magenta line or a green line or something on the display instead of this big chunky column. Slightly phallic looking, but hey. Ooh, it's going to speed us practically up to VNE. Sweet. I guess that's what cost index 80 will do for you. Let's go to progress. There we go. Very nice. Very nice. I wonder if, let's see, perf? Does it give me a, like, optimum cruise level? Yeah, 380. Fair enough. We're going slightly higher than that. You didn't know there was a cargo version of the Q400? Neither did I, actually, until just now, mate. Fair enough. Didn't set the altimeter before we left. But never mind. That's what you get for not using checklists. I've actually got the checklist for this thing. It's on my tablet. I just couldn't be asked to use it. So sorry, bad pilot. I know. Don't need these panel lights on now, really, do we? I can't get over how flat the front of the flight deck feels. Something about the shape of it. It's odd. The windows are huge, and the whole front of this thing seems like it's totally flat. I mean, it doesn't help that they didn't render any of the nose out the window, so it kind of is totally flat. Interestingly, here's another Concorde fact for you. Originally, they designed the Concorde so that the nose would droop down to 17 degrees, but pilots complained that literally it was like they were sitting on top of a wall. They had no visual reference out the window for where the nose was, and they found it disorientating. So they changed it to 12.5 degrees, and the nose on all the Concordes could still go down to 17.5, but they basically put a mechanical lock in place that prevented it from doing so in flight. But for maintenance and stuff, they could still lower it to 17.5. Because let's face it, that is a bit weird. Looking out the window and seeing basically just that. Nothing at all. Hashtag panda power. What's the climb rate like we're getting out of this? It's not too bad. Not too bad. It's not exactly a rocket ship, but it's not too bad. I don't think this gear handle has a neutral position, does it? No. It does look a bit out of place pointing straight up like that, though. Where it covers up the gear lights. Emirates has 93 A380s. Are you fucking joking? 93? I didn't think anybody had that. I didn't think there were 93 A380s in the whole fucking world. Jesus Christ. With another 49 on order. Bloody hell. I wish the 757 was so efficient in Airline Manager. I've got 6 of them in Airline Manager now, and because they're like super old second-hand jobbies, like the fuel factor on them is through the roof. I mean, having said that, they're still not bad, but they're not brilliant either. I'm waiting for fuel prices to come down at the minute so I can do some more actual flights. I'm saving up for another 787. Not the most amazingly big fan of the 787, I have to admit, but in Airline Manager it's fucking cheap as chips, so for the range and the fuel burn. So I'm getting a couple of them. Dislike the phrase second-hand jobbies. Get your mind out of the gutter, sir. Sunblind hype. Triple sevens, fucking hell, Christian. You must be like making serious money. Those things are expensive. Oh, that's interesting. Behold our top of climb and behold our top of descent. Thanks, Simbri, for screwing that up. Nice one. How about we level off at 350, huh? Uh-oh. Okay, I nearly just totally 100% broke that. It looked like, interesting. It's now in descent mode? What? Maybe I should just go back to init. Gosh, I do have a way of breaking things, don't I? Okay, now it's back in cruise mode. Okay, cool. Still says insufficient fuel. Even though it says, is my reserve fuel set to something silly? Because it says estimated fuel on board 8 tons by the time we get to Atlanta, so... And 3.4 if we were to divert, so, yeah, whatever. How goes Dave? Dave goes okay. Dave's had a long day. But aside from that, not bad. How'd you get the MD-11 in P3D? As long as you've got a copy of the thing, it does work in P3D. You just got to run the migration tool while it's while the sim is running. You've got to have it in the background, enabled, and it's fine. Slap the HD texture cockpit thing on it, and it actually doesn't look half bad. Most of the time, SimBrief gets it okay, but yeah, I mean on long hauls it gets it bang on, but sometimes it does drop the ball slightly. Yeah. Although it does occasionally give you those really weird initial... You've got to remember to hit step climbs on You know, you've got to remember to click, you know, take the step climb button if you're doing a long haul, because otherwise it'll give you like flight level 230. But what it really wants to do is give you an initial climb of 230 followed by a step climb up to something much higher. Well, we cruising now. Nice. I suppose I should probably double check this approach then, because I sort of half-assed it when I put it into the CDU. What are we on? Stole 1 RNAV, okay. From Isra, alright. So we should be flight level 240 above at Jackson, yep. 17,000 above, 280 knots at Gurnall, whatever that is. 12,280 at Stole. Yeah, it's fucking nailed it. I tell you what, PMDG, they know how to make a good box. A competent box, anyway. Even this long ago, apparently back in 2008 or whenever this thing came out. Then Army, no, wait, that's not what we want. Wait, no, we do, yeah. Army 12,000, 280 knots, Hog, no restrictions, Eagle, Shirt, Sweet, Chris, and then Tammy, Manual, so vectors, and then Terry for the ILS 28. I think 28 is the one next to all the cargo bits, isn't it? Yeah, okay, Terry's fine, we can leave that in there. So, let's see. Let's just hit flight plan and refresh that back to the top. And then here we can go take off approach, and then approach we can go, yeah, the approach is 155 knots, pretty heavy. Landing flap 35. No idea what timer MMSS is. That's interesting. Apparently I don't need to actually set anything on here. Where do I set minimums then? Or just dial it on a knob here somewhere? Yeah, I do, okay. So we want 1200. Barrow, that is. 1200 barrow, very good. If I pull that presumably goes standard. Yeah, I guess. Alright, top of drop is incoming. Our platform altitude is 4,000 feet, so I'm just going to scroll on down to 4,000. And we'll just let it fly the descent profile and see how it gets on. Alright, toodles given. Cheers, my dear. Alright, so yeah, I guess we're just sitting admiring the view for a bit then. Not much longer, but yeah. I thought this flight might take a little bit longer, actually. I kind of looked at it and thought, well, we're in America, so maybe Memphis to Atlanta will take a while, like an hour and a half or something, but well, maybe not. My sense of distance in America is always completely wrong, so... Well, that's interesting. Well, it's 240 above as opposed to at 240. It probably explains why that's there. Just say the top of descent's very close to that, but I guess it probably works. We'll just see what happens. Put my faith in the plane, even if it's a plane designed by McDonnell Douglas. Famous last words. Put that on my tombstone. Alright. It's moving the rudder a bit, isn't it? Maybe I'm just extremely unobservant, but I've never seen the autopilot move the rudder very much on a tube liner before. It's fine, it'll just pitch down 90 degrees, yeah. It'll do a jar. Oh, you wanted to be at 240 in like 6 minutes? Shit, well we better get down there then. Whee! No protections whatsoever. Just must meet constraint even if it kills pilot and crew and everyone on board. And also loses wings in process. It's VNAV for those of us who like to live dangerously. Did I say hello to you, Pedro? If not, then I should have done. Hello, Pedro. How do you go about getting QNH with X-Enviro? I literally just use the real world and hope it's accurate, honestly, mate. Although, I think you can use the in-game, like, X-Plane ATIS, to be honest with you. If you just tune the ATIS frequency in X-Plane, it'll... I think it'll use X-Enviro, whatever X-Enviro is set, but I might be wrong. But generally, I just use SkyVector or whatever, or just Google the meta. I don't know if it's automatically going to go down when it's across as TD. Now that I've dialed in 4000, I'm not sure if it works like a Boeing in that sense, or if it works like an Airbus where I actually have to press profile or something to make it go down. We'll find out in a second. How's the VAS? VAS is 1.35 gigs free, so yeah, we're doing good for VAS. I can't imagine this plane's going to use up much VAS. I mean, it's got very low-res textures and stuff, but I don't know. There can always be, like, sort of leaks with these old planes, I suppose. Overspeed incoming. Probably, Is there, like, a descend now function in this thing? Still giving me insufficient fuel. Descent forecast. Oh, probably would have been a good idea to put that in, but oh well. Yeah, it's not going anywhere, and the thing's going away from us, so... Profile. Whee! Here we go. Down the hill, folks. Buckle yourselves in. Right, so yeah, it works like an Airbus then. So what I could have done is I could have 5-10 miles before top of descent just hit profile, and it would have given us a smooth start off to that descent. Fair enough. Look at it go. 3,000 feet per minute for the win. Yeah, you know, it's funny, but I forget that McDonnell Douglas made loads of military planes as well. F-15, F-4 Phantom, yeah. Well, McDonnell made the Phantom. McDonnell Douglas made the F-15. That was all pre-merger, so... Oh my god, okay, 4,000 feet per minute, why not? It's going to badger us for some drag in a second. We're not even idle thrust as well, that's the funny thing. Or maybe... No, we're not. It's like desperately getting back onto the pink diamond. Come hella high water. And now it's leveling off a bit because it wants to slow down, and now the diamond's getting away from it. Oh, rip me. Oh dear. We literally could put the gear down. Like, that's not even a joke. We could put the gear down at 300 knots, so... Well, 300 knots or decimal 7 Mach. And we're at decimal 7.9, so no, we couldn't right now, but... Add drag, it says. Yeah, probably about time, mate. I still forgot to disarm the spoilers, rip. Let's give it the full lot. There we go. And of course it just throttles up. You stupid thing. The regular, like, spoiler command doesn't work in this plane, by the way. You have to use these click spots. There's a speed constraint coming up soon. We're gonna need to put some spoiler out, I think. Sell some lumber. Alright, it's on speed, it's more or less on profile. I guess it should be fine now. So even a command in P3D. You can assign it to an axis, I suppose, in P3D. But other than that, yeah, you can either just arm it or deploy full, and that's it. But even deploy full doesn't work in this one. You can arm it, and then just, if I hit the deploy full... Oh, okay, my bad. Alright, it just doesn't work on the ground. Never mind, forget I said anything. Tried to do it on the ground earlier and it didn't work, so... This is a part of VATSIM. No, we're not on VATSIM. I'm learning a brand new plane, so I don't fly online if I'm learning. Well, so far so good. I need my glasses. Ugh. You know what? It says that about VATSIM, but I genuinely... I did fly on VATSIM twice in the last couple of days. I was just really desperate for some UK ATC and some East Coast USA ATC, so I did end up flying on VATSIM. And I tell you what, it wasn't even that bad. I got I did Kennedy to Heathrow, and I got full ATC out of Kennedy and full ATC into Heathrow, and that was pretty cool. And I got full ATC out of the UK on the way to Boston yesterday. In fact, by Matt, actually, Matt Davis, otherwise known as Bellins. He was doing some controlling on a stream, and I didn't know he was. I only realised he was doing a stream when I heard him on the frequency as London Control, and I was like, oh shit, is he streaming this? And I went on there, and sure enough, he was. But yeah. Yep, Panda livery for the win. There's a whole bunch of pretty nice liveries for this thing, actually. There's a pretty cool KLM one. There's a BA World Cargo one, which has got like the Lewis Hamilton, you know, Formula One car thing going on. Yeah, well, we'll see about that, Wayne. It is tempting. I'm almost tempted to give it a go in Concorde, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I can be asked. I have since learned how to do position reports and oceanic clearance, sort of. Like, I've got a decent-ish idea of how it works now. So that doesn't necessarily bother me, it's just... You have to do maths if you're flying Concorde across the pond for your position reports, because you don't have a thing down here that tells you when you're going to arrive at the next waypoint. You have to just take the number of minutes remaining in the INS and get your calculator out, basically. It's kind of a pain. Plus, there's probably not any bloody slots left in it by now, I imagine. They all get booked up pretty quick from what I've heard, and what I understand. And the thing is, because you're going at Mach 2, you have to give position reports a lot more often than anyone else does in their regular planes as well, so that's kind of annoying too. It's a bit NGX-ish, the VNAV and auto throttle in this plane. It always seems to end up about 5 knots faster than you've set it to do. Slots went in 15 minutes as soon as they opened. Holy shit, wow. Fair enough. I wouldn't mind doing a transatlantic trip with ATC. I just don't fancy doing it during Cross the Pond with 10 million other people and ATC issues and problems and the usual VATs and stuff. I guess what I'm saying is I'll have to wait till Pilot Edge start doing oceanic procedures. That's a long way off, if it's ever even coming.
Altitude.
Is Concorde subject to NAT if it's at flight level? It has to use the supersonic NAT tracks, so Sierra Mike and Sierra November. So yes and no is the answer. Sierra Mike and Sierra November are always fixed as well, so because you know there's barely any wind up that high, so they don't move around like the other NAT tracks. Okay, so he wants to level us off at 12,000 here. But we're past Army now, so we want to be down to 10,250 knots, right? Inbound hog. Munich to JFK? Ah, forget it. I'm not interested in flying from Munich. Would have been cool to fly from Manchester, but I bet all the Manchester slots were the first to go, so lots of people wanting to fly Virgin 747s to Orlando or wherever. You gonna slow down at some point, plane? You've got to hit 250 at this next one. Oh, it is trying to slow down, I think. Spoilers activate. Sorry about that. The stream froze on my other monitor. I need to refresh it. It's annoying. Is it going to be able to, like, maintain 250 without, you know, having to have some spoiler out? I guess, but it's not descending very quick, is it? Might be one of those planes that's so slippery it needs extra spoilerage most of the time. I mean, it looks like it could be kind of slippery, I guess. Plus you've got 3 engines. The yoke does love to wobble around in this thing, doesn't it? Crikey, it's never stopped moving. What's the local altimeter? Because we should be whatever that is. 299.7. I think this plane automatically tunes the ILS for you. That's what I experienced earlier, so I don't think we need to worry about that. ILS untunable. Having said that, what is that about? Are you having a laugh? $111.75, which is correct. Course 275. That's not good. Is it just saying that because it isn't picking it up right now, or what? Rip. Alright, what do we need to be at? Okay. Yeah, we got quite a bit of room here to get down, so as you can see, the plane's not in much of a rush.
Traffic.
Chili, thank you for the host, buddy. Welcome aboard, everybody from Chili Stream. How you guys doing? Hope your Monday hasn't been too awful. Why do we have a fuel imbalance? Like, tank 1's got more in it than 2 and 3. Interesting. Oh, now it's updated and it's fine. Okay, weird. Welcome aboard the Panda Express, everybody. Genuinely call that the FedEx Panda Express. I'm not making that up. Just heading into Atlanta, carrying some rubber dog shit. Not out of Hong Kong, but maybe one of these days. And the scenery is taking forever to load in, apparently. Good gracious me. Good gracious Ignatius. What's the VAS like at the moment? 1.2 gigs. That's fine. Good. Sweet. Oh, I love the Master Caution emote. Is that Double Log Gamer? That's awesome. Oh, I don't like that though. Ah, that's horrible. But if I look away again for long enough, it'll do it again. Good old 32-bit. Ugh. Yeah, Wayne, so basically the secret to making this work in P3D is just to run the migration tool in the background the whole time you're flying the plane. Just keep the migration tool enabled as long as you're in the plane and running the sim, and it's fine. Yep, see, I told you, it's doing it again. Ugh. I wonder if there's any tweak I can make to get rid of that somehow. That's horrifying. Are we a little bit wide of track? Kind of looks like it. Alright, you know what? Let's idle clamp our asses down to 4,000 feet. And put out the slats, I suppose. Get some drag on the go. FS Dream Team. No, it's Imagine Sim, I think, isn't it? They're the guys who made Atlanta, right? Oh, is it just a case of it is known Khaleesi? Imagine Sim Atlanta just is always laggy. Okay, that's fine then. I just worry when I think it's something wrong with my sim. If that's just the way the scenery is, then fair enough. Yeah, it's a nostalgic plane for a lot of people, it seems. They just, I never flew it. I never got it. I didn't know what I was missing, apparently. Tess, CZ, and Webson76 and 9TV as well. Thanks for the follow, guys. Welcome aboard the Panda Express. I don't know, I'm going to fit you all in that little courier bay back there, but we'll have to do it somehow, unless you're all in boxes in the cargo. Alright, let's manual heading straight ahead. Oh, I need to roll the dial flat back forward again, don't I? Shit. There we go. It needs to go to 15. There we are. For you. Alright. And we can now go to flaps 15. And the plane is ballooning like a champion. There we go. Those flaps come out super quick. Christ. This is the sexual harassment panda. Forgot about that. I like to think it's the one from those Japanese commercials. Like the ultra-violent panda. I think they were Japanese adverts. I don't know what for, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure they ran them in the UK as well. No glide slope. Although we do have a loke. You always have to remember to pull the knob. Oh my. Oh matron. Oh matron. You need to pull the knob. But seriously though, you need to remember to pull the knob every time you change a speed or an altitude or anything. Otherwise it just doesn't take. So if I do that like now, I don't think it will actually turn to 331 unless I pull the thing. Same goes for speed and whatnot. Speaking of which. Oh, it slowed us right down. I guess that's good.
Laps 28.
Laps 28. Beautiful. Yeah, it was on FMS speed the whole time, so it slowed us right down. Sweet. Good. But I'll take it from here. Thank you. Stay at 180. And pull it. There we go. Speed up a little bit. And approach / land. Hope it picks up the glide, otherwise we're going to be doing a visual approach. And I will have no idea why it didn't pick up the glide. So it's definitely an ILS and not a localizer, right? Yeah, it's an ILS. Right, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, see, it doesn't turn. I've got to actually pull the thing, and then it turns. I'm not seeing any movement on the... on the low diamond either, actually. It's kind of annoying. Maybe we're just still too far out. I can live in hope. If I just try and put it in again manually. That's the next one. Wanza is what we're inbound to right now. I'll tell you what, let's go direct Wanza. How do I execute it? Like that. I think it's just doing it now by itself, I think, or possibly, hopefully. I'll just put it on nav. Arm land again. Yeah, it ain't getting shit, that's weird. I think the ILS is broken. Oops. I pushed it instead of pulling it. So it's getting dirtier by the second. Come on, shaders. Do your thing. You can do it. Go on, load. You know you can. I believe in you. Come on, shaders. You can do it. Fucking hell. Are you serious right now? There we go. Eventually. That's quite a bit of alpha. Even with flaps 28. Crikey. Whoa, look at that. Flaps 50.
Flaps 35.
Gear down.
Landing gear.
reset. Well, I'll try, but config. What is wrong? Busy config. Auto brake is off. Oh, thank you for the reminder. We'll go with medium, please. This thing doesn't slow down in a hurry, so. Well, yeah, I guess it's a visual approach from here on out. Fucking rip ILS. Goodbye. I've got the runway, so...
Autopilot.
Autopilot. I love it. It's so goofy. We're slightly left of the centre line as well. Why is my speed just dying? Help! Help! Okay, auto throttle just GG'd out on me. That's fine. So, because I put it into, like, sort of a flight level change mode there to try and get the flight director to move for me. Is that what the problem was? Man, fucking rip. Just forget safety protections or anything like that in this plane. Jesus Christ. Like, it'll stop you from overspeeding, and that's about it, apparently. Alright, well, spoilers are armed, which gives us the green box down on the right there. And now we're just going crazy fast. I'm trying to slow this thing down, it just won't do it. Flap disagree. Oh god! Oh my god, oh my god!
Localizer's alive.
It's not... It went from... I pulled the auto throttle out. Alright, I guess we're staying in the pattern for this one, boys. Jesus Christ. So I pulled the auto throttle out, and then I throttled up to prevent us from stalling and dying. And then the auto throttle went back in again, and then sped us up to, like, maximum continuous thrust. For reasons. Oh, and there's the localizer finally, yeah. So useful. So useful. This whole approach has been very strange. Whatever. It's lucky I practiced pattern work in this thing, huh? I wish there was someone to turn off the flight director, or maybe... Hang on a second. There we go. That's better. Is there some kind of flight path vector thing I could put in there? No, it doesn't look like it. Panda flyby. Yep. Right, I'm not going to bother with the full missed approach procedure. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. We'll just stay in the pattern. I'll make a left downwind for the runway. I think we're on the wrong side of the airfield as well, to be honest with you. I think that's the Air National Guard bit down there, not the cargo area. Oh dear. Like I said earlier, I don't like that it basically just takes the auto throttle away from you like that. I don't like that at all. If I want the auto throttle to go in, I want to press a button labeled auto throttle. You know what I mean? I don't want to have the plane just sort of decide for itself that, okay, you get auto throttle now, and there's no real indication of it either. You only know it's gone in when the plane is throttling out of your control. No. We were on profile, Wayne. Like, we were totally on profile. So I don't know why it didn't... Like, I don't know why it didn't even get the localizer. That's the thing. Like, it wasn't even just the glide slope. It didn't even get the localizer until we were, like, you know, a mile off on final. So it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I know, right? It's like it's two buttons. It's one button that does two different things. If you want auto throttle, you have to press auto flight, but if you want autopilot, you have to press auto flight as well. So it's like, just, nah, I don't like it. Bad design. I'm sorry, McDonnell Douglas, but even I can tell that, and I'm a fucking idiot who flies desktop planes. The scenery is just... Ugh. I'm not flying to Atlanta and P3D again anytime soon, folks. Decided that. Alright, let's go gear down. Flaps 35. We'll turn this thing around. Do some of that pilot shit. I'm sure the cargo won't mind. Apparently we don't have a yaw damper either, because it's like the slip indicator was going nuts. Or if we do have a yaw damper, it's really sloppy at its job.
Glide slope. Glide slope.
Yeah, now we get the glide slope warning. Stupid thing.
Glide slope.
Glide slope. Possibly a little bit low here.
Glide
Sorry, residents of Atlanta.
Glide slope.
This is probably noisy. Apologies. Here we go.
Glide slope. 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 Glide slope.
Can I silence you somehow?
Glide slope. Glide slope.
There we go. Does need quite a bit of trim as well. And yeah, no, I'm serious. Like, unless there's a yaw damper switch I forgot somewhere, this thing's yaw damper is shocking. Or it doesn't even have one. The ball's all over the place.
500. Approaching minimum. Minimum.
Well, we're visual now, so minimums don't need shit, but we're continuing anyway, I guess.
200.
This runway looks short. I don't like it.
100.
We're going pretty fast.
50. 40.
The MD-11, folks, it's an adventure.
10.
Oof, thumped it in, but well, never mind. No greases for us today. Yeah, it doesn't stop in a hurry either. Yeah, and we're at the completely the wrong end of the airport. Like, the cargo is all the way over there. I might just have to slew. Spoilers are armed, so if they're not spoilering, then it ain't my fault. Spoilers are armed, as you can see. The lever is up. They just apparently didn't do anything, so... The guy says as well, no spoilers normally. If you land purposefully, like for a touch and go without arming the spoilers, he says no spoilers on the rollout. But he didn't say no spoilers this time, in spite of having no spoilers. So I don't know what to make of that. Fuck me, this is some laggy scenery. Holy shit. Yeah, I have a feeling this plane lands with a pretty funky deck angle, because I didn't think we were about to touch down when we did. Of course, if we briefed properly and instead of just, you know, half-arsing it like champions, we would have known that this is the wrong runway, but oh well. Yeah, no, we should have landed on like 26 right. Although 26 right is even shorter than this, so that would have been fun. Hack Happy and that guy Freddy, thanks for the follows, lads. Are we still in reverse thrust? No, we're not. We're just taxiing very slowly. I think I might have seen that, actually, Christian. It's quite amusing. I think I'm a little bit off-center with the yoke in my view. Don't like it. There we go. Save that. Now the question is, are we taxiing all the way across Atlanta, or am I just going to slow? I'm leaning towards slowing, I'm not going to lie. Mind you, there's a south cargo apron just up here, actually. No, that's alright, we'll just taxi to that then. God knows if FedEx actually parked there IRL, but I don't care. It's a cargo apron, and it's, you know, within 20 miles. High deck. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. You're quite right. Yeah, the wings are pretty far back on this, aren't they? That's true. It's a bit Concorde-ish in that respect. Yeah, it'll take some getting used to. Blatantly. If I want to land this thing nicely. I mean, I got a pretty good landing out of it on one of the touch and goes I did earlier today, but it was a bit of a fluke. Spooky a lot. And Cider Fur. Thanks for the follows, lads. Welcome to this shit show. Strange plane. I can't fault it too much. Like, it's not technically being sold anymore either. I mean, so how much can you really criticize the damn thing? Plus, it's ancient. Like, this thing's... It's an old plane. Both in the real world, I guess, and also in flight sim. But considering that, it's actually pretty impressive, really, for the age. Next destination is my dinner table, mate. I am pretty much done. I did say only one flight tonight, so my dinner table and then an early night's sleep. Sorry to disappoint, but it's just the way of things tonight. I say early night sleep, it probably won't end up happening, will it? It'll be the classic thing. I feel absolutely knackered now, and then in about a couple of hours, when I should ideally be starting to get ready for bed, I will suddenly become completely awake. It always happens. Total night owl. It's a workhorse. She's paid her dues, yeah. I would like to shoot the man who came up with this idea for the autoflight button and the throttle mechanisms and stuff, but aside from that, it's a nice plane. Oh no, I didn't think you were criticizing, mate. I'm brand new to this plane. Like any hints and tips and things are more than welcome. I'm serious. It's a very different plane to most of the others I've been flying, so it's a new thing for me. Got to get used to all the little things that make it what it is. I felt like I was on the verge of passing out with tiredness earlier today. It always happens about mid-morning. I just hit a wall. And it either ends up in me managing to push through it with lots of cups of coffee, or I end up taking a nap. But if I get through the other side of it, I'm fine for the rest of the evening. Stupid human body and its need for sleep. If I was designing humans, I'd get rid of the requirement for sleep. It's so annoying. You waste like half your life asleep. It's just, you know, we don't even live that long anyway, so I hate it. If I had it my way, humans would not have to sleep. We would literally, from our perspective, live twice as long if we never slept ever. Tank 2 fuel quantity low. Interesting. Okay. Maybe the fuel calculations for this thing were a bit off from SimBrief then. It's the MD-11 spot right there. Brakes on. APU on. Yeah, the frame rate is appalling here. This scenery just, Imagine Sim, what are you doing? We're running low on fuel. It doesn't like it. Just waiting for that on avail thing to come on. Right, it's just solid green available now, so I guess if we just kill the engines, it'll hopefully transfer it automatically. Oh shit, yeah, no, what you're supposed to do is kill 1 and 3, and then you leave 2 running until it switches over, and then you... Never mind, whatever. It seems to be okay. It's not totally broken. Fine. Non-existent beacon and strobes, I guess, can go off technically. Coolio Man 8 and Cowboys Fan 374. Thank you for the follows. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, I almost went to Houston instead today with this flight, and in hindsight, I probably should have, because the Houston scenery is nowhere near as laggy as Atlanta is. There you go. Lesson learned. Next time we'll go to Houston. Houston? Sorry, Dallas. Durr. All the cities in Texas all kind of blur into one in my head, I'm afraid, so ignorant foreigner, please forgive. Right. Yeah, you're pretty late, Jay Zavera, I'm afraid, mate. We're just about to end. Disarm, open, cargo doors. Open, sesame. Really, GSX? Really? This isn't a parking spot? Really? Fine, forget it. Guess that's it. Boys and girls, thank you very much for joining me on the Panda Express today to this incredibly laggy airport. Sorry about the distinct lack of ground vehicles. GSX is just having one of its bad days, apparently. Maybe if I can... South parking? It only recognizes 3 and 10, apparently. There we go. Now we can have ground services, apparently. Dur. Makes sense. Not. Well, there it is. That's the MD-11, folks. It's kind of ancient, but it does just about work in P3D, apparently. If you do the migration tool nonsense and all that crap. Yeah. It's not a bad plane, really, all things considered, considering how old it is and everything. Bit of a giggle. Like I said, don't know how often I'll stream it, since it is so difficult to get your hands on a copy of this these days that it almost seems unfair to stream it. But I don't know. It seems to be a popular choice, actually. To be fair, in spite of that, you lot seem to really like the MD-11. So I don't know. Maybe we'll stream it some more in the future. I guess it's a bit different, isn't it, from the usual stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Righty-ho. Well, I'm going to extend that straw poll to... if I can get the link to it out of my history there. I'm going to post a link to that on Discord, and I'll do one on Twitter as well, and I'll link to it on there and get people's opinions. But I'm thinking we may just get rid of the schedule, because I think it would just be... it would make for better streams if I just got rid of the schedule. And why the fuck do I have fireworks over every town and city in Flight Sim for some reason? Anyway, so yeah, we may just get rid of the schedule just because it's more inconvenient than it is convenient at this point for me personally. Anyway, I don't like it. I don't like it. Because otherwise, what ends up happening is you just get streams like the last one and the one today, where I do a very short stream, which is okay, but it's sort of the bare minimum, and it's only because I'm just too fucking knackered. I've just been too busy with other stuff for the rest of the day, or I'm in a shitty mood or something like that, and the end result is you just don't get a very good stream out of it. So... my thinking is we'll just get rid of the schedule. I'll do streams whenever. I'll try and announce them on as many different medias as I possibly can, so you guys get the notification. And yeah, we'll do it that way, because that means we'll just end up getting better content as a result. But anyway, I will still put it up as a kind of advisory vote thing, see what people think, but yeah. Anyway, that was the MD-11. This is Atlanta. I hope you enjoyed it, folks. I will catch you... Well, I would have said Thursday, but potentially just whenever, really, now. So, yeah. Don't know what we'll be flying next time. What will we be flying next time? Let me think. I don't really have any concrete plans. I've sort of got through all the planes that I said I was going to do. My flight sim to-do list has been sort of mostly cleared at this point. This was the last thing on it. I don't know. I suppose I should probably fly the Q400 at some point. The IXCG, maybe. Could always just do more of this, since people seem to like it. And there's always more Concorde. And I might even give the 777 another go at some point, because I'm working my way through the Airline to Sim videos for it, and I'm kind of enjoying them. So, yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, I will probably just end up streaming whatever takes my fancy at the time. Oh, you know what? DCS would be nice, Chili, but my problem with DCS at the minute is I have to completely relearn everything that I've forgotten. I don't fly DCS often enough to commit this shit to memory. So... Copy paste in a disk. Yeah, I'll go for it, mate. Actually, that'd be doing me a real solid by doing that for me. Actually, no, to be honest with you, I'll tell you what, mate. I'll put it up as an announcement and just tag everyone. I'll do it that way. It'll be better. More people will pay attention that way. Yeah, DCS is freaking awesome, but I mean, like, if I were to get into the A10 right now, I just wouldn't be able to do anything with it. I've completely forgotten all of the HOTAS commands, and I'd have to sit there for an hour trying to refigure it out again in my head, so... Which I will have to do one of these days, because I would like to fly DCS again at some point, but yeah. On an evening like tonight, I just don't have the mental capacity. Ugh. Alright, don't know why I'm still hanging around here. Cheers, everybody. Let me just do a little check to see who's streaming. I can go host. It's already 10 o'clock, crikey. It feels like 8 o'clock, but it's 10 o'clock. Alright, we have got Durka flying the Saab. There you go. Not the biggest fan of the Saab ever myself, but I think Durka loves it. So if Saab is your thing, not vegan, but the Saab 340 is your thing, then Durka's got you covered tonight. Looks like he's flying out of, where is it, Aspen to Denver. Cool. Alright, well, I'm going to give him a host. Everybody, thank you very much, as always. Thank you for the resubs we've had and all the new followers and stuff like that. Wish you all the best. And I will see you again in the very near future when I've recharged my batteries a bit, honestly. And we'll be flying whatever. Well, I'll try and get in a proper decent length stream in at some point, I think. This some point this week, and we'll fly a bunch of stuff instead of just one thing. I think that's what we'll try and do. Anyway, folks, it's been wonderful. Well, I mean, you know, everything bar the approach and arrival and everything was pretty wonderful, but hey. Goodness gracious. Don't go to Atlanta. Bad things happen in Atlanta, apparently. Imagine Sim Atlanta, anyway. Hopefully someone like Taxi to Gate will come along and redo it one of these days. But anyway, yeah, just babbling about random crap right now, everybody. Thanks very much. Go say hello to Durka for me. I'll give you a link. I'll just go spam it in there. You can go raid him. Give him the good news. And I will catch you whenever, folks. So, yeah, toodaloo. ta-ra, etc. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Au revoir. Running out of languages. Catch you next time.